Dr. Jessica Mitchell hadn't expected anything unusual during her night shift at NASA's Deep Space Monitoring Station. The gentle hum of equipment and soft blue glow of monitors had become familiar companions during her 3 years tracking deep space anomalies. She sipped her lukewarm coffee, grimacing at the bitter taste, when the first signal appeared. At first, she assumed it was another piece of space debris, one of thousands her team tracked nightly. But the signature was different, structured, rhythmic, almost like it was trying to get their attention. Her fingers flew across the keyboard, running analysis protocols she had practiced countless times, but never expected to use. "Control, this is Mitchell at Station 6, she said, keeping her voice steady despite her racing heart. "I'm picking up an artificial signal. Pattern suggests intelligent design." The response was immediate. Laughter. Of course they'd laugh. Everyone knew the chances of detecting alien signals were astronomical. But 20 minutes later, no one was laughing. The signal had multiplied. 12 distinct sources now, moving in perfect formation, their trajectory unmistakable. They were headed straight for Earth. The next 48 hours became a blur of emergency meetings, military briefings, and global panic as the vessels entered our solar system. Dr. Mitchell found herself pulled from her comfortable monitoring station to the heart of humanity's first contact scenario. The ships, massive crystalline structures that seemed to bend light around them, took up position just beyond lunar orbit. Their message came in perfect English, transmitted simultaneously to every major communication device on Earth. The Galactic Council requests immediate audience with Earth's unified leadership regarding matter of urgent importance. The Geneva Convention Center transformed overnight into humanity's first interstellar meeting room. Dr. Mitchell sat among world leaders, scientists, and military commanders, her expertise in signal analysis earning her a seat at humanity's most important table. The alien delegation that entered carried themselves with rigid formality, their diverse forms representing species humanity had never dreamed possible. Ambassador Kisri, an insectoid being whose iridescent carapace shifted colors with each movement, stepped forward. "We come with a simple yet crucial request," they announced, their mandibles clicking in what the universal translator rendered as anxiety. Earth must maintain absolute neutrality in the current galactic conflict. The room erupted in confused murmurs. Earth hadn't even developed faster than light travel. Their most advanced ships barely reached Mars. How could they possibly take sides in a galactic war? "With all due respect, Ambassador," General Roberts interjected, "we're hardly in a position to influence any interstellar conflict." As he spoke, Dr. Mitchell noticed something fascinating. The biosensors she had helped design registered sharp spikes in the aliens' vital signs every time military personnel spoke. They were afraid. But of what? The ambassador's color shifting intensified. "You underestimate your species' significance. The conflict between the Hegemony Alliance and the Free Systems Coalition threatens to destabilize half the known galaxy. Earth's involvement would be catastrophic." President Chen leaned forward. "You've traveled hundreds of light years to tell us to do nothing. There must be more to this story." A smaller alien, with flowing tentacles and bioluminescent patches, whispered something to Kisri. The ambassador's carapace darkened. "We cannot elaborate further. Know only that Earth's neutrality is paramount to galactic stability. We offer significant technological and economic benefits in exchange for a formal neutrality agreement." Dr. Mitchell observed the aliens' behavior through her tablet, noting how their stress responses peaked whenever humans expressed confusion or skepticism. They were hiding something big. As she compiled the biological data, a pattern emerged that made her blood run cold. These advanced beings, capable of crossing vast distances of space, showed all the physiological signs of prey animals in the presence of a predator. But that was impossible. Humanity was centuries behind them technologically, unless... She raised her hand, her scientific curiosity overwhelming protocol. "Ambassador Kisri, you speak of our involvement as if it's happened before. Has Earth previously participated in galactic affairs? The entire alien delegation froze. In the silence that followed, their fear became palpable. Ambassador Kisri's response was barely a whisper. We have already said too much. The warning had been delivered, but Dr. Mitchell knew this was just the beginning. As the delegation departed, she caught a glimpse of her reflection in the crystalline wall of their transport vessel. For a moment, she could have sworn her eyes held the same fear as the aliens. What were they so afraid of? More importantly, what was humanity capable of that could terrify such advanced civilizations? Lieutenant James Cooper nursed his whiskey at the Star and Compass, a hastily renovated bar near the newly established Galactic Embassy in Geneva. 3 weeks had passed since the Council's warning, and he'd spent every moment trying to piece together the puzzle of humanity's apparent importance. As a military intelligence officer with a doctorate in xenorchaeology, he should have been at the forefront of diplomatic relations. Instead, he found himself relegated to observer status, watching aliens scurry away whenever he approached. The bar had become an unofficial neutral ground where human and alien diplomats could mingle away from the spotlight. Cooper watched as a Myerkari diplomat settled into a specially designed water-filled booth nearby. The aquatic alien's translucent skin rippled with patterns of bioluminescence as it ordered its third Earth whiskey, which it absorbed through specialized membranes. Fascinating stuff, isn't it? Cooper said, sliding into the seat opposite the diplomat. The way alcohol affects different species. The Myerkari's chromatophores flashed in what Cooper had learned was amusement. Lieutenant Cooper, the alien burbled through its translator. I am First Secretary Nixville. Your beverages are most effective at neural relaxation. 2 hours and several drinks later, Nixville's professional reserve had melted away. Its translator hiccuped occasionally as it spoke about home, family, and finally the war. Cooper listened intently, waiting for the right moment. But why warn Earth specifically? He asked, carefully keeping his tone casual. We're practically still playing with rockets compared to your civilizations. Nixville's skin rippled with dark patterns, the Myerkari equivalent of a bitter laugh. You truly don't remember, do you? The genetic lockdown was more thorough than anyone anticipated. Cooper's heart raced, but he maintained his relaxed posture. Remember what? The last convergence, Nixville said, its translator slurring slightly. 15,000 years ago. Your people, your warriors. The alien shuddered, sending ripples through its suspension tank. The records speak of human soldiers who could outthink battle computers, who developed tactics that seemed to violate physics itself. They fought for both sides in that war. Entire star systems fell in days. Cooper leaned forward, his whiskey forgotten. What happened? The war ended when both sides realized they'd lost control of their human auxiliaries. Your species had evolved beyond anyone's ability to predict or counter. The casualties. Nixville's skin paled to an almost transparent state. The Council didn't defeat humanity. They couldn't. Your ancestors chose to forget. They locked away their knowledge, modified their own genetics, retreated to Earth to start over. The lieutenant's mind raced. Could it be true? He thought of the mysterious structures recently discovered in the Mariana Trench, the unexplained readings from deep within the Himalayas. Why tell me this now? Nixville's chromatophores pulsed with anxiety. Because it's happening again. The genetic markers are reactivating. We've detected quantum fluctuations around your planet identical to the patterns recorded during the last convergence. When humans begin to remember, the alien caught itself, realizing it had said too much. Cooper walked home through Geneva's empty streets, his mind churning. In his pocket, his phone contained recordings of everything Nixville had said. A clear violation of diplomatic protocol, but he'd worry about that later. The pieces were falling into place. The aliens' fear, the generous offers for Earth's neutrality, the strange dreams people had started reporting worldwide. In his apartment, he accessed classified files he wasn't supposed to have, cross-referencing what he'd learned. ancient cave paintings depicting impossible technologies, genetic studies showing unexplained complexities in human DNA, mathematical constants appearing in ancient monuments that matched advanced spaceflight equations. His phone buzzed. A message from Dr. Mitchell at NASA. Found something in the signal patterns. Meet me at the Geneva Archives. Bring your clearance codes. Cooper grabbed his coat, checking his sidearm out of habit. As he left, he caught his reflection in the window. For a moment, just a moment, he saw something different in his own eyes. Something older, something that remembered what humanity used to be. The truth was finally emerging, and it was more incredible than anyone had imagined. The question wasn't whether humanity would remember its past, but whether they were ready for what that remembrance would bring. Colonel Ashley Reeves stood at the viewport of the deep-sea vessel Nautilus, watching bioluminescent creatures scatter as they descended into the Mariana Trench. The structure they detected shouldn't exist, not at this depth, not with these energy readings, and certainly not with its perfectly geometric patterns that defied natural formation. Depth 30,000 feet, announced Dr. Mitchell's voice through the comm. She was coordinating the mission from the surface ship, energy signature intensifying. Whatever's down there, it's active. Reeves glanced at her team of Marine special operators, each chosen for their unprecedented scores in spatial awareness and tactical thinking. Recent events had made her question those selections. Had something been guiding her choices all along? Major Thompson, status of the Himalayan team, she asked, activating the quantum comm link they'd reverse-engineered from Galactic Council technology. Just breached the inner chamber, Thompson replied, his voice crystal clear despite being on the other side of the planet. Colonel, you're not going to believe what we're seeing. The architecture. It's like it was waiting for us. The Nautilus's lights illuminated something that made Reeves's breath catch. A massive doorway, easily 50 meters high, its surface covered in patterns that seemed to shift and move under their lights. As they watched, lines of soft blue light began tracing through the patterns. It's responding to our presence, Lieutenant Sarah Hayes whispered, her hand unconsciously moving to the strange birthmark on her neck that had begun glowing faintly 3 days ago. The door opened silently, despite millions of tons of ocean pressure. Inside, they found not the expected water-filled ruins, but a perfectly preserved facility with its own gravitational field and atmosphere. As they docked and entered through an airlock that seemed to anticipate their needs, Reeves felt a strange sensation, like remembering a place she'd never been. "Control, are you seeing this?" she asked, her helmet cam transmitting everything to the surface. "Crystal clear," Dr. Mitchell replied. "The architecture matches what Thompson's team found in the Himalayas. These facilities are connected." They moved deeper into the facility, passing rooms filled with technology that hummed to life at their approach. In one chamber, they found what appeared to be sleeping pods, each sized perfectly for a human occupant. In another, walls of crystalline matrices pulsed with stored data. "Welcome, descendants," a voice echoed through their minds, neither male nor female, yet somehow familiar. A holographic interface shimmered into existence before them. "I am Guardian, the custodian of humanity's legacy. The awakening protocols have initiated ahead of schedule due to detected threats in local space." Reeves stepped forward, drawn by an instinct she didn't understand. "What legacy? What threats?" "Accessing genetic memory banks," Guardian responded. Images flooded the chamber, stars, battles, discoveries, and achievements beyond imagination. Your ancestors were not simply warriors, though that is what the galaxy remembers most. They were peacekeepers, explorers, and guardians of balance. When their power grew too great, they chose to hide it from themselves until it would be truly needed again. Lieutenant Hayes gasped as her birthmark flared brightly. Across the chamber, similar marks appeared on other team members, each glowing with its own unique pattern. "The genetic markers are activating," Guardian explained. "You carry within you not just combat knowledge, but the accumulated wisdom of 1,000 generations of human advancement. The process cannot be stopped now that it has begun. Reeves's calm crackled. Colonel. Thompson's voice was urgent. The Himalayan facility just activated some kind of transmission. It's broadcasting across the entire planet. Guardian's hologram expanded, showing a global map with points of light appearing across every continent. The remembering begins. 15,000 years of hidden human potential, awakening in response to the galaxy's need. What happens now? Reeves asked, watching as her own birthmark began to glow. That depends on you, Guardian replied. Your ancestors left you a choice. Remain as you are, or reclaim your place among the stars. But choose quickly. The galaxy's powers move to strike before humanity fully awakens, and this time, there will be no forgetting who you are. Reeves looked at her team, seeing the same mixture of fear and determination in their eyes. They had trained all their lives to protect Earth, never knowing they carried within them the power to protect the entire galaxy. The question was, were they ready for that responsibility? The Hawking's Dream was humanity's most advanced research vessel, designed to study the quantum anomalies around Mars. Dr. Emma Reeves, the ship's lead quantum physicist, and Colonel Reeves's younger sister, had been transmitting her final data burst when the Hegemony warship emerged from hyperspace. Tell Ashley I figured it out. Emma's last message read. The patterns in the quantum field, they're not random. They're memories, encoded in the fabric of space itself. We didn't just forget our history, we hid it in the structure of reality. They're coming. Don't let them. The transmission cut off as the Hegemony vessel opened fire. The Hawking's Dream never stood a chance. Its destruction lit up the Martian sky like a second sun. Colonel Reeves watched the footage for the 7th time in her office beneath the Mariana facility, each frame burning into her memory. Around her neck, the crystalline key they'd discovered pulsed with an intense blue light that matched her newly luminescent birthmark. They're claiming it was an accident, Lieutenant Cooper reported, his own birthmark glowing a deep crimson. A tragic misunderstanding due to calibration errors in their weapons systems. Lies, Reeves said softly, her voice carrying a weight that made the air itself seem to vibrate. The genetic memories were flowing faster now, triggered by emotion and necessity. She could feel them. Combat techniques, strategic algorithms, and something else, something deeper. Her secure phone buzzed. Dr. Mitchell from NASA. Colonel, we're detecting massive energy signatures. Both the Hegemony Alliance and Free Systems Coalition are mobilizing fleets at the edge of our solar system. Before Reeves could respond, alarms blared throughout the facility. Guardian's hologram materialized, its usual calm demeanor replaced by urgent intensity. Multiple breach attempts detected at the Himalayan facility. Covered operations teams from both factions. Major Thompson's voice crackled through the quantum comm. Contact. They're using phase shift technology to bypass our outer defenses. These aren't regular troops. They're hunting for something specific. Reeves closed her eyes, letting the genetic memories flow. Combat scenarios, thousands of them, filtered through her consciousness. But these weren't just tactics. They were lessons learned through millennia of warfare and peace. All teams converge on the Himalayan facility, she ordered. Lieutenant Cooper, notify the Council that this aggression will not stand. Dr. Mitchell, begin full activation of the Guardian network. The battle for the Himalayan facility became the world's first glimpse of awakened humanity in combat. Major Thompson's defenders moved with impossible precision, their movements guided by ancient muscle memory. They didn't just fight. They flowed through space itself, each action perfectly calculated to neutralize their technologically superior opponents without killing them. The turning point came when a Free Systems operative breached the central chamber, aiming to destroy what they believed was the source of humanity's reawakening. He found Colonel Reeves waiting, her eyes glowing with the same blue light as her birthmark. You fear us, she said, effortlessly disarming him with movements that seemed to bend space. But you never understood us. The operative's neural transmitter broadcasted the entire encounter to both fleets. They watched as Reeves subdued 12 elite operators without a single casualty, using techniques that their most advanced combat computers couldn't predict or analyze. In the aftermath, as the defeated infiltration teams were escorted to holding cells designed 15,000 years ago, the Galactic Council's worst fears were realized. Humanity wasn't just remembering. They were evolving beyond their ancient capabilities, combining modern innovation with recovered knowledge. Dr. Mitchell's voice came through the quantum comm once more. "Colonel, you need to see this. The genetic activation. It's spreading. Reports are coming in from every continent, and the offers from both factions. They're getting desperate. The hegemony just offered us the keys to their antimatter production facilities. The coalition is promising entire star systems." Reeves stood in the ancient chamber, watching the captured operatives through one-way quantum glass. "They're not offering us brides," she realized. "They're offering us surrender." Guardian's hologram appeared beside her. "The choice remains yours, Colonel. But remember, your sister discovered something vital. The memories hidden in quantum space reveal not just how humanity fought, but why we chose to forget. The question is, what will you do with that knowledge?" Reeves touched the crystalline key at her neck, feeling the weight of both past and future. "We'll do what humanity has always done," she answered. "We'll find a better way." Mark Anderson had been teaching high school physics in Kansas for 15 years. Nothing special about this Tuesday morning, until he started explaining quantum entanglement to his senior class and realized he suddenly understood it. Not just textbook understanding. He could see it, feel it, know it at a level that made his previous knowledge seem like a child's crayon drawing. "Mr. Anderson," Jenny Martinez, his brightest student, raised her hand. "Your neck is glowing." In Nebraska, Sarah Williams stopped her tractor in the middle of harvesting corn. The engine design was all wrong. She could see how to modify it, make it run on quantum fluctuations instead of diesel. Her hands moved to the metal, and patterns of light danced beneath her fingers as ancient knowledge surfaced through her genes. At a Seattle kindergarten, 5-year-old Michael Chen drew perfect spaceship schematics during our time, complete with calculations for gravitational field generators in the margins. His birthmark pulsed with green light as he explained faster-than-light theory to his astonished teacher using building blocks and finger paint. Dr. Jessica Mitchell monitored these reports from the newly established Awakening Response Center in Geneva. Holographic displays showed thousands of similar incidents occurring worldwide. "It's not random," she told the emergency session of the United Nations via quantum link. "The genetic memories are distributing themselves based on existing aptitudes and global needs." She highlighted a pattern emerging in the data. Engineers were awakening to ancient technological knowledge. Diplomats suddenly understood the subtle nuances of thousand-year-old peace treaties. Farmers began implementing agricultural techniques that could triple yields using principles of quantum biology. "But there's resistance," Lieutenant Cooper added, standing beside her. "Not everyone wants to remember. Some fear losing their current identity. Others worry we'll repeat the mistakes that led to our ancient choice to forget." Reports of civil unrest flashed across their screens. In some cities, people with glowing birthmarks faced discrimination. In others, they were celebrated as humanity's next step forward. The world teetered on the edge of chaos as society struggled to adapt to this evolutionary leap. Guardian's holographic form appeared in the center of the UN chamber. This phase was anticipated. The Awakening Protocol includes safeguards against abuse and corruption. No single individual receives complete knowledge. The memories distribute themselves to create balance and interdependence. A transmission from the Mariana facility interrupted. Colonel Reeves's hologram joined the discussion, her expression grave. "We've decoded more of the quantum archives. Our ancestors didn't just leave us military knowledge. They left us everything. Art that could move stars, music that could heal worlds, mathematics that could map consciousness itself, and weapons that could end civilizations," Cooper added quietly. "No," Reeves corrected. "Tools. Whether something is a weapon or a tool depends on the hand that holds it. Our ancestors understood this. It's why they encoded a choice into our genetics. The ability to awaken these memories isn't automatic. Each person must choose to accept them. Dr. Mitchell's monitor suddenly lit up with new data. The awakening is accelerating. The collective consciousness of humanity is reaching a critical threshold. When it does, she never finished the sentence. At that moment, across the planet, every activated birthmark pulsed in unison. In Kansas, Mr. Anderson saw the quantum structure of the universe with perfect clarity. In Nebraska, Sarah Williams understood how to power cities using the energy between stars. In Seattle, young Michael Chen dreamed of ships that could dance through space-time. Guardian's hologram expanded, showing the web of awakened consciousness spreading across Earth. The question was never whether humanity would remember, it said. The question was whether humanity would choose wisdom over power. Your ancestors faced this choice. Now it's your turn. In the silence that followed, Dr. Mitchell watched the patterns of awakening spread. She thought of the alien diplomat's fear, understanding it now not as fear of humanity's weapons, but fear of humanity's potential to change everything. We're not just remembering who we were, she realized. We're choosing who we'll become. The birthmarks pulsed again, a silent question to every human on Earth. Who do you choose to be? The Geneva Interstellar Conference Chamber hummed with tension as Ambassador James Cooper stepped onto the speaking platform. His newly awakened diplomatic memories told him that the crystalline architecture was designed to amplify emotional resonance. The aliens would feel every nuance of his words. Earth has watched your war long enough. He began, his birthmark pulsing with steady golden light. We've decoded enough of our ancient knowledge to understand what's really at stake. This isn't about territory or resources. It's about fear. The Hegemony Alliance representative, Supreme Commander Vexlor, rose from his hovering seat. His metallic exoskeleton gleamed under the chamber's lights. You overstep, Ambassador. Earth has no standing in this conflict. No standing. Colonel Reeves emerged from the shadows, her combat armor incorporating both modern and ancient designs. The aliens flinched as she approached. Your forces destroyed a civilian research vessel. You sent infiltration teams to our sacred sites. You tried to prevent our awakening. Defense Coordinator Mitchell, monitoring from the Quantum Command Center beneath the chamber, watched the alien representatives' biosignatures spike. Their fear was different now, not of what humanity had been, but of what they were becoming. We offer you prosperity. The Free Systems Coalition spokesperson chimed in, her crystalline form shimmering. Entire star systems, technology beyond your current understanding. You offer us bribes. Cooper interrupted, because you know we've already surpassed your understanding. Our ancient knowledge, combined with modern innovation, has evolved beyond what either side can predict. To demonstrate his point, he gestured to the holographic display. It showed Major Thompson's modified SpaceX vessel approaching the quantum minefield that had blocked humanitarian aid to the Centauri colonies for months. The aliens watched in stunned silence as Thompson navigated the field. His ship didn't just avoid the mines, it danced through them, using their own quantum signatures to create a safe passage. Complex equations that had stymied the best minds of both factions were solved in moments by the awakened human pilot. Impossible, Vexlor whispered. Those minds operate on 12-dimensional quantum principles. To your technology, yes, Reeves replied. But our ancestors encoded their knowledge into the quantum fabric of space itself. We don't just understand the principles. We can see them, feel them, adapt them. Guardian's presence manifested in the chamber, its holographic form more defined than ever. Humanity offers you one chance for peace. End this conflict, or they will end it for you. The coalition spokesperson laughed, a sound like breaking crystal. You can't enforce such demands. Our fleets control half the galaxy. Your one ship's trick proves nothing. Cooper smiled, but his eyes remained serious. We're not going to fight you. We're going to change the rules. He nodded to Mitchell through their quantum link. Show them. Across the galaxy, awakened humans began implementing their new knowledge. Quantum engineers in Moscow bypassed shield frequencies that had protected battleships for centuries. A teenager in Buenos Aires solved the paradox that had deadlocked peace negotiations. Farmers in Kenya adapted ancient terraforming techniques to heal worlds ravaged by the war. "This is your final warning," Cooper announced. "Humanity remembers not just how to fight wars, but how to end them. How to heal worlds. How to build civilizations. Your choice is simple: peace or obsolescence." The chamber erupted in chaos as the aliens realized the truth. Humanity hadn't just recovered their ancient military might. They'd evolved beyond it. Each awakened human carried a piece of knowledge that, combined with modern ingenuity, made them capable of reshaping the galaxy itself. "You have 6 Earth hours to declare a ceasefire," Reeves stated, her voice carrying the weight of millennia. "After that, we implement our solution, not through violence, but through change you cannot prevent or control." As the alien representatives scrambled to contact their governments, Cooper watched the Earth through the chamber's quantum windows. Billions of birthmarks glowed in harmony, each person contributing their piece to humanity's new path. "They'll refuse," Mitchell's voice came through his quantum link. "Their pride won't let them accept our terms." "I know," Cooper replied. "That's why we already started implementing the changes. The ceasefire isn't a request. It's a courtesy notice. Humanity has chosen its path. And across the stars, that path began to shine." Colonel Reeves stood on the bridge of the Peacemaker, Earth's first quantum-enhanced vessel. What had begun as a modified SpaceX ship now incorporated technology that merged humanity's recovered knowledge with modern innovation. The ship's hull rippled with patterns of light that matched the crew's glowing birthmarks. "All stations report ready," Dr. Mitchell announced from her position at the quantum interface. Her fingers danced through holographic displays, interpreting data streams that would have overwhelmed unawakened humans. "The Hegemony fleet is maintaining attack formation near Proxima Centauri." "And the Coalition?" Reeves asked, though she already knew the answer. "Advancing from the opposite vector. They think we're bluffing." Mitchell's birthmark pulsed with increased intensity. "Both sides expect us to demonstrate some ancient superweapon." Reeves smiled. "Then let's show them something they've never seen before. Restraint." The Peacemaker's quantum drives engage, moving the ship through spaces between spaces. They emerged in the heart of the Hegemony fleet, surrounded by warships that could have vaporized Earth's entire solar system. "This is Colonel Reeves of Earth's peacekeeping force," she broadcast on all frequencies. "We're not here to fight. We're here to end this war." Supreme Commander Vexlor's face appeared on the main display. "You're outnumbered thousands to one, Colonel. Your ship, impressive as it may be, cannot hope to." His words cut off as Dr. Mitchell implemented the first phase of their plan. Quantum tendrils of light extended from the Peacemaker, connecting to each Hegemony vessel. Instead of weapons fire, they transmitted something far more potent: understanding. "Your energy cores," Mitchell explained, her voice carrying through the quantum link. "They're not just power sources. The ancient humans who helped design them built in transformation protocols. Let us show you." With a gesture, she activated the dormant code. Across the Hegemony fleet, warship reactors reconfigured themselves. Weapon systems transformed into energy distribution networks. Targeting computers became navigation aids. "What have you done?" Vexlor demanded, panic evident in his voice. "We've given your ships a new purpose," Reeves replied. "They can still defend, but their primary function is now to sustain life, not end it. The same technology that powered your weapons can provide energy to 1,000 worlds." The Coalition fleet arrived to find their enemy's ships transformed. Before they could react, the Peacemaker repeated the process. More importantly, they transmitted the quantum records showing which corporate and political leaders had secretly prolonged the war for profit. "You see," Mitchell broadcast to both fleets, "humanity's greatest weapon was never our combat prowess. It was our ability to fundamentally change the rules of engagement. Through the quantum network, they showed both sides the truth, how the war had been manipulated, how peace had been possible all along, how their civilizations had been held back by their own fear and pride. Lieutenant Cooper's voice came through from Geneva. The quantum architects in Sydney just cracked the final encryption. We're broadcasting the peace protocols hidden in the fabric of space-time itself. Your ancestors, all of them, built fail-safes into the very structure of your civilizations. They just needed humanity to remember how to activate them. Across both fleets, weapons systems transformed. But more importantly, understanding spread. The quantum transmissions carried not just technical changes, but the accumulated wisdom of a species that had learned to choose peace not from weakness, but from strength. We could have destroyed your fleets, Reeves addressed the stunned commanders. Instead, we're showing you a better way. Your ships now have one purpose: to help rebuild what this war has destroyed. The coalition spokesperson's hologram appeared, her crystalline form vibrating with emotion. Why? Why show mercy when you could have dominated? Because that's the choice humanity made 15,000 years ago, Mitchell answered. We didn't hide our power because we were afraid of it. We hid it until we were wise enough to use it correctly. As the transformed fleets hung in space, their crews coming to terms with their new reality, Reeves watched the birthmarks of her crew pulse in harmony with the quantum field itself. They had proved that humanity's greatest strength wasn't the power to wage war, but the wisdom to choose a better path. Operation Stellar Peace is complete, she reported to Earth. The real work begins now, teaching the galaxy how to maintain the peace we've created. 1 year after Operation Stellar Peace, the Galactic Council chamber looked vastly different. The crystalline architecture remained, but now it pulsed with quantum patterns that connected all species in a network of shared understanding. Ambassador Cooper stood at the central podium, his golden birthmark harmonizing with the chamber's resonance. Our ancestors made a choice that shaped 15,000 years of galactic history, he addressed the assembled representatives. They didn't hide our power because they feared it, but because they understood something profound. True strength lies not in the ability to win wars, but in the wisdom to prevent them. Dr. Mitchell, now director of the Terran Peacekeeping Forces Scientific Division, brought up a holographic display of the quantum network spanning the galaxy. Each point of light represented a world where awakened humans worked alongside other species, teaching them to use the transformed technology. The genetic memories we recovered weren't just battle tactics or technological specifications, she explained. They were lessons learned through millennia of triumph and tragedy. Our ancestors encoded their wisdom into the quantum fabric of space itself, waiting for us to evolve enough to understand it. Colonel Reeves, commanding the peacekeeping fleet from the transformed Peacemaker, transmitted her report through the quantum link. The display showed former warships, now exploration vessels, and humanitarian cruisers, helping to rebuild worlds scarred by centuries of conflict. In the past year, she reported, we've terraformed 12 worlds previously thought uninhabitable. The same energy that powered weapons now sustains life. The quantum algorithms that targeted fleets now calculate optimal resource distribution. We didn't just end the war, we made it obsolete. Former Supreme Commander Vexlor, now serving as the hegemony's Minister of Reconstruction, rose to speak. His metallic exoskeleton had been redesigned with Earth's help, its weapons replaced with tools for healing and building. We feared humanity's return, he admitted. Our histories spoke of your warfare capabilities, but they missed the most important part. Your species' greatest achievement wasn't mastering the art of war. It was choosing to forget that mastery until you learned a better way. The Free Systems Coalition spokesperson chimed in, her crystalline form resonating with new frequencies. The question that haunted us was, why would such a powerful species choose to forget? Now we understand. You didn't forget. You evolved. Guardian's hologram appeared in the chamber center, but it was different now. The awakened humans had discovered its true nature, not just an AI caretaker, but a composite of the wisdom of those ancient humans who had chosen to guide their descendants. The cycle is complete, Guardian announced. Humanity has reclaimed not just their power, but their purpose. The genetic memories will continue to unlock as needed, guided by the wisdom you've shown in using them. Young Michael Chen, now 10 years old, stepped forward from Earth's delegation. His green birthmark glowed as he operated quantum interfaces that had baffled alien scientists for centuries. "We're building something new," he said with a child's simple clarity. "Not just peace, but understanding." The chamber's quantum field rippled as representatives from across the galaxy shared memories through the network humanity had created. Ancient grievances dissolved in the face of shared understanding. Former enemies found common ground in the work of reconstruction. The Galactic Council begged Earth to stay out of the conflict. Cooper concluded. They were right to be concerned, but for the wrong reasons. Humanity didn't return to the galactic stage as warriors, but as teachers. Not as conquerors, but as guides. Dr. Mitchell's monitors showed the continued spread of awakened human knowledge throughout the galaxy. But now it wasn't just human wisdom being shared. All species contributed their unique insights to the quantum network, creating something greater than the sum of its parts. Our ancestors left us a choice, Reeves transmitted from her position among the stars. They encoded not just their power, but their hope that we would use it wisely. Today, we honor that choice by helping to build a galaxy where such power is no longer needed for protection, but for progress. As the council session ended, Earth's representatives looked out at the transformed galaxy. Their birthmarks pulsed in harmony with the quantum field that connected all species in understanding. Humanity had not just remembered who they were, they had become who they were meant to be. Guardian's final words echoed through the quantum network. The Guardians have returned, not to fight the battles of the past, but to forge the peace of the future.